Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining in here today. My name is Jill and I'm here to offer you a 60-minute flow class courtesy of Sadhana Yoga and Sound. Today we'll begin standing. Before we get there, do grab whatever you need to comfortably and safely practice today. If you work with blocks or if you have any bolsters, blankets, pillows you want to use for later on for Shavasana, please gather them around. I won't be playing music for this class, so put on your favorite playlist or just enjoy practicing in silence, and let's begin. So we'll begin in a standing position in mountain pose with palms facing forward, feet are inner hip distance apart, and we'll slowly start to draw the eyes closed. Shoulders are relaxed here. You can even roll them up to the ears, back and down. Draw the crown up. And we'll just start to take some time here to arrive here on our mats. Being the observer of our bodies and our breath. Noticing what we notice. Quality of the thoughts. Is there anything negative or anything that does not serve you that you can just simply let it pass through, let it go, and allow that space for something new and inspiring to float in, for something positive, for something that brings you joy and peace. So clearing the mind here, allowing that space for more. If you have Ujjayi breath in your practice, you can begin to incorporate that a little bit later on once we begin to flow. If you're unsure what that is, it's a slight constriction at the back of the throat with lips closed. Sounds like ocean sounding breath or as if you're fogging up a mirror. And that breath will help you to build some fire and some heat as you flow from shape to shape. But before we find our Ujjayi breath, we will float the hands together at heart center. And we'll open the mouth and we'll sigh out a nice big exhale. Inhale deeply through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Inhaling again. Big exhale. And this time we'll inhale to Om together. Releasing hands back down along your sides, palms will face forward again. When you're ready, you can softly flutter the eyes open and we'll inhale and we'll slowly start to reach the hands up and overhead. We'll interlace the fingers and we'll start to draw the arms down in front of us. We'll extend the hands and the palms outwards. And then we'll inhale the hands back up overhead. Nice stretch along the arms here. And then we'll slowly begin to take the arms over to the right. The hips can go to the left. Allowing the breath to flow smoothly here, not holding our breaths. And just drawing that left arm back, staying open through the collarbones, maybe gazing up underneath that top arm. Exhale, releasing back through center, reaching hands up, and then slowly releasing the hands and just letting the arms hang down by your sides. Inhaling, hands back up overhead, interlacing the fingers, flipping the palms up towards the sky. And then we'll exhale and we'll take the arms over to the left, the hips will go to the right. And again, just being mindful to keep that right shoulder and arm back, reaching those hands up and away from the body. Making sure there's nice, easy breath here. And we'll release all that. We'll come back through center, release the hands, let them hang and release down by your sides. You can shake it out a little bit. And then we'll draw the arms out in front of us again. We'll interlace the fingers and we'll take some wrist rolls here. So just rolling the wrists, preparing for some down dogs, some chaturangas, some planks, just warming up the wrists. Beautiful. You can even reverse the direction, that awkward, funny direction. And then we'll release the hands and we'll float them back down by our sides. Let's inhale, reach the hands up again. Exhale as we hinge at the hips, take the arms out wide for a reverse swan dive as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up to stand. Join the palms, draw them down through heart center. Inhale, reach up, join the palms overhead. This time open the mouth and exhale. Inhale, reach up again, joining palms, exhaling hands down through heart center. Last time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Hinge at the hips and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Place the hands, step back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Lots of space in between the fingertips here. There's a generous bend in the knees if you need. Draw the heels down towards the earth. Send the hips up high. Look towards the top of the mat. Ripple forward into top of a plank. Top of a push-up, gaze in between the hands. Exhale, take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Begin to float forward again, top of a push-up. And on the exhale, we'll send the hips up and back again, down dog. Last time, floating forward into plank. And taking the hips back for down dog. Beautiful. Once you back and down dog, you can begin to pedal it out, lowering one heel and then the other, continuing to draw those hips up towards the sky, melting the heart towards the thighs. Maybe you like to come high on the toes or bend deeply into the knees, whatever awakens the legs for you here. Beautiful. Coming back through stillness, we'll slowly start to lower the knees down to the earth. We'll take them out wide, big toes to touch. We'll melt the heart down for child's pose. You can begin to walk both hands over to the right side of the mat, perhaps even coming off the mat for a side bend here. Sending some nice, deep, nourishing breaths up and down the left side body. Maybe picking up the left hand and placing it on top of the right to deepen your stretch. Unstacking hands if they were stacked, walking back through center, taking a moment here. And then walking hands over to the left, coming off the mat and going and finding your edge and stopping there. And sending some nourishing breaths up and down the right side body this time, maybe picking up the right hand, placing it on top of the left. Breathe deeply. Maybe you start to incorporate that Ujjayi breath with lips closed, slight constriction in the back of the throat. Unstacking hands, walking them back up through center. And we'll lift the hips so they're stacked over the knees. Hands are still out in front of you, about as wide as the mat. And we'll just start bending one elbow and then the other. Just swing side to side here. So just a little bit more movement. Waking up hips and shoulders, arms, and legs. Coming back through center when you're ready. Walking the hands a little bit away from the body, tucking the toes again, coming back up into downward facing dog. From here, we'll float that right leg up into the sky for three-legged dog. We'll stack the hips, we'll gaze underneath that left arm, and we'll take some ankle rolls with the right foot. And then we'll start to circle that right hip, reversing the direction when you feel ready. Beautiful. Coming back through downward facing dog, three-legged dog. Lift that right leg up into the sky and then release that right foot back down to meet the left. Floating left leg up into the sky, three-legged dog, stacking that hip, peeking under the right arm and rolling that left ankle. And then incorporating the hip, circling the hip here. Reversing the direction. Beautiful. Coming back through three-legged dog and then floating that left leg down to meet the right. Look towards the top of the mat, bend the knees and start to walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift again. And we'll exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. We'll take a little micro bend in that right knee. We'll place the right hand in the middle of the mat and we'll start to twist open to the left for a twisted forward fold. You can gaze up to that left arm. Doesn't feel good in the neck, you can look down at the mat. As long as you're breathing. Always finding that sweet, sweet spot between effort and ease. We want to challenge ourselves, but not to the point of any pain or injury. Exhale that left hand back down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Little micro bend in that left knee. Place the left hand in the middle of the mat, and then we'll inhale that right hand up towards the sky, and we'll gaze up. Beautiful here. And softly floating the right arm down towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, look up a little bit. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. Join the palms overhead. Draw them down through heart center. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. This time we will walk the feet together so the big toes touch and there's a little bit of space in between the heels. And then we'll begin to bend deeply into our chair and we'll raise the fingertips along the mat and we'll inhale hands up for chair pose. Checking in to make sure we can see our toes out in front of us. We'll lift the heart, reach the hands. If you prefer, you can always take prayer hands here as well. That takes a little bit less pressure off the shoulders. And we'll see if we can sit down a little bit deeper. Sink those hips down, lift the heart, gaze out in front of you. Last few breaths here. Exhaling slowly as we fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Place the hands, step back to plank. We'll pick up that right knee and we'll ripple forward and we'll hold that right knee towards right elbow. Gaze in between the hands at the top of the mat. Cross the right knee over towards the left elbow. Breathing here. And then we'll simply float that right leg back up into the sky, three-legged dog. And then we'll float that right foot down to meet the left. Look towards the top of the mat, ripple back into plank, top of a push-up, pick up that left knee and hover it next to the left elbow. Strong arms here, smooth breath. Cross the left knee over to the right elbow. Beautiful. And then we'll release that left leg back up into the sky. Three-legged dog. Floating that left foot back down to meet the right. Look towards the top of the mat. Bend the knees. Step, hop, or walk to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to stand, joining palms overhead and drawing them down through heart center. Release the palms down by your side for Tadasana Mountain Pose. Beautiful, shake it out a little bit if you need. We'll come back through Mountain Pose and we'll inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to plank. This time we'll tuck the elbows in and we'll slowly lower down with control all the way onto our bellies, untucking the toes here. Palms are placed underneath the shoulders and we'll inhale, we'll lift the heart, we'll lift the chest, we'll come into Cobra. Holding here, gazing straight out in front. Exhale, melt the heart back down as you come onto your belly. This time we'll tent the fingertips, we'll take them off the mat, we'll bend the elbows so they point straight up towards the sky. We'll inhale, lift the heart. Strong arms, strong fingertips here. We'll gaze over that right shoulder back behind us. Draw back through center. And then gently twist over to the left, looking over that left shoulder. Draw back through center again. And exhale, melt the heart back down to the earth. Plant the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back, down dog. Float the right leg up into the sky, three-legged dog. Look towards the top of the mat, bend that right knee, place the right foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. Place that back foot down so it's a 45-degree angle. And we'll inhale, hands up for Warrior One. So squaring hips towards the front of the mat, we're gonna gently draw that right hip back, floating hands up into the sky, gazing up, bending into that front knee. If this is too sensitive on the shoulders, option to always bind the arms behind the back body. Beautiful. Lift the heart, take a little back bend here. Exhale, bow to the inside of that leg as you draw that right knee and hip back behind you. Breathing here, gazing in between the legs. Beautiful. Option, you can always release the hands to the inside of that front foot if you need, if the balance isn't there today. So take whatever you need to feel supported here. And then we'll exhale, lift the hands up, come back up through Warrior One. Plant the hands back down on the mat, step back to plank, and this time you can tuck the elbows in if you want to lower down in Chaturanga, please do so. Inhale up to your Cobra Up Dog, roll the toes back, Downward Facing Dog. Float the left leg up into the sky, three-legged dog, bend that left knee and place that left foot in between the hands at the top of the mat, place that back heel down, inhale, hands up, Warrior One. Again, either hands are up overhead or bound behind the back body. We'll lift the heart, we'll take a little back bend here, and we'll bow slowly to the inside of that left leg. Beautiful, smooth, strong breath here, gazing in between the legs. Having a smile on our face. Enjoying the challenge, but also knowing when to take rest and slow it all down. Listening to our bodies here. Beautiful. Release the hands, float them back up into the sky, exhale them back down to the mat. This time we'll step forward, meeting in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up to stand. Join the palms overhead and draw them back down through heart center, Tadasana Mountain Pose. Beautiful. Let's flow again. Inhale, float hands up. Exhale, melt the heart as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Step back to plank. Tuck elbows, lower down in chaturanga. Inhale, up, cobra, your up dog. Roll over the toes for downward facing dog. Beautiful. Float right leg up into the sky. Three-legged dog. Bend right knee. Place right foot down in between the hands at the top of the mat in a runner's lunge here. So setting up for our runner's lunge, having our foundation firm and steady, and then releasing hands up into the sky. Beautiful. Nice, smooth, strong breath here. Drawing hands down through heart center. We'll take a twist to the right. So hooking left elbow outside of right thigh. High on the back toes. Strong back leg. And then maybe you choose to open your wings and you gaze up to that top hand. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you just stay here in prayer. Beautiful. Smooth, easy, deep breath. Beautiful. If the wings were extended, drawing the hands back together, untwist. We'll float the hands up. And we'll exhale both hands to the inside of that foot this time. And we'll heel toe that right foot out to the outside edge of the mat. So we're in a version of lizard pose here. You can have that bat leg up or you can lower the back knee. Hanging out here, lizard. Beautiful. We'll pick up that left hand, we'll place it in the middle of the mat, and we'll twist open towards the right leg. So floating right hand up into the sky. Gaze up or down depending on how it feels in your neck. Beautiful. Exhaling that hand back down to the earth. Both hands are inside of that right foot. We'll heel toe that right foot in just a little bit. We'll hop the right hand over. So you got one hand framing either side of that front foot. And we'll bend in the back knee and we'll step forward, kneading in our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up to stand. Join hands, dropping down through heart center. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. One more time, big inhale. Noisy exhale. Inhale, reach hands up. This time you can reverse swan dive if you like as you hinge at the hips and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Tuck elbows, lower down in chaturanga. Inhale, up, cobra, up dog. Roll over the toes, send the hips up and back down dog. This time we'll float that left leg up into the sky. We'll bend that left knee and we'll place that left foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. Runner's lunge. So we have our knee stacked over our ankle here and one hand framing either side of that front left foot. High on the back toes here. And once we have all that, we'll float hands up into the sky. Beautiful crescent lunge here. So option to stay here, reaching hands up, or you can join palms, draw them down through heart center. And we'll begin to twist to the left, hooking right elbow outside left thigh. Again, options. Maybe you hang out here. Maybe you float the wings open. Maybe you gaze up towards the top hand. As long as you can breathe and there's no pain, play around, challenge yourself, have fun, see what you're actually capable of. You're capable of more than you actually think you are. Beautiful. Float hands back together if they were extended. Untwist, float them back up into the sky. Exhale. Hands down to the earth, but we'll take both hands to the inside this time, and we'll heel toe that left foot a little bit out towards the outside edge of the mat. We'll place right hand in between, in the middle of the mat, and we'll start to twist open to the left as we float that left hand up. Beautiful, twisted lunge here. Nice smooth breath again. Slowly exhaling that hand back down so both hands are on the inside of that left foot. Then we'll heel toe that left foot in a little bit. We'll hop that left hand over, so one hand on either side, that front foot. Beautiful. And we'll step back to down dog this time, or option if you need rest, come into a child's pose. So knees can be wide or together, melting heart, reaching hands forward. Beautiful. So option to hang out here and just be the observer of your body again. Notice what you noticed so far. How does it feel? Are there any areas you need to tend to? Send a little extra loving, nourishing breath to. And when you're ready, we'll all meet in down dog. We'll look towards the top of the mat and we'll step, hop, walker, jump to the top. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way back up to stand as you float palms overhead and draw them down through heart center. Beautiful. So from here, we will ground into our right foot. We'll release our hands and we'll pick up that left knee. We can hang out here, drawing that left knee up, fingers interlaced outside that left knee. And we have two options today. We can either open the left hip and we can come into our version of tree pose. You can have that left hip open and left foot resting on inside of right ankle, below the knee, or just above the knee, anywhere but on that knee. If you're not feeling like tree pose today, we can work on our standing figure four again. We have played around with this last time in our last class. So two options, either taking tree or figure four. Hang out wherever you want to hang out. Maybe even close your eyes and see how it feels and embrace all those wiggles and all those wobbles. And you want to, if you're in tree, to energetically push that left foot into that strong standing right leg. So you want the two to oppose each other. You want to be pushing on that standing leg. That will help draw all the energy into the midline and help support you with your balance. Beautiful. If you're in your standing figure four, you may want to play around with sitting in your chair, drawing elbows to the inside of that shin. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths wherever you are. And then when you're ready, we'll uncross the leg or draw the knee back through center. We're going to keep that left knee high, and then we're going to step back to a high lunge. So seeing if you can hang out in that transition, so high on the back toes, high lunge. And then from here, we're going to bend that back knee and we're going to push forward and we're going to float into warrior three. So warrior three, we want the heart and the chest parallel to the earth, and you want to flex that back foot. Flex that back foot so it toes are pointing down towards the earth, and you want to play around with just kicking that leg up. Again, if you need to reach for the earth or props, please do so. Gazing down at the earth, you can have prayer hands or you can reach the hands forward, or if you prefer a T shape, you can do that T shape. Last couple breaths, kick that back leg up just a little bit higher. And then we'll slowly start to come through standing again and release all that. Beautiful. Shake it all out. Preparing for the other side. Maybe taking a sip of water if you need. And then we'll grow strong in that left leg. We'll bend that right knee and we'll hug that right knee into chest. And then again, your choice, maybe you want to play around with your tree pose, so you open up that right hip and you place that right foot somewhere towards the inside, that left leg, and you're just gonna push that right foot into that left leg. Left leg's gonna oppose it and push back and engage and draw the energy towards the midline here, the body. If you prefer standing figure four, you just cross the outside of that right ankle on top of that left thigh. Maybe you sit in your chair again, hanging out here, putting a smile on your face, wiggling, wobbling. If you fall out, you're not going to criticize yourself. You're just going to come back in, try it again. We're all here to practice and learn. It's a yoga practice, not a yoga perfect. Every day we'll feel different in our bodies and our minds, and that will affect how the body moves. Beautiful. So from wherever you are, we'll just hang out here for just a little bit longer. Deep, smooth breath. Uncrossing the legs, drawing that left knee, keeping it up, hugging, interlacing the fingers along the outside. Sorry, right knee. So the right knee is lifted. And then we'll release that right leg and we'll step it back, coming into a high lunge. Beautiful. And then from here, we'll start to pick up that right leg and we'll come into our warrior three. So flexing that back foot so toenails point down. We want the body to be parallel to the earth. If you want to use your blocks or just reach the hands down to the earth to help stabilize, you can. Otherwise, you're going to kick that back leg up. Hands can be in prayer. They can be extended out in front of you. Whichever works best for your body. Again, wiggling and wobbling, having fun with it, and just building some strength here. Building some strength. Last few breaths. And then we'll release and come back through standing. Shake it out. Good job. We'll flow one more time. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as you fold. Place your hands. Step back to down dog. Beautiful. Ripple forward into plank. And tuck those elbows as you lower down and control into your belly. We'll lower onto our forearms this time. So fingertips are spread wide. Shoulders are stacked over elbows. Sphinx pose. Legs are long down the mat. Closing eyes, again, just being the observer of our bodies and breath. You can release the Ujjayi breath if you were using that. Head should be stacked over shoulders, stacked over elbows. This is a little bit too much sensation for you. You can walk the hands away from the body. Lowering down a little bit, taking any pressure out of the lower spine. From wherever you are, we'll all lower down. We'll take the elbows out wide, palms face down. We'll stack the palms. We'll rest down on that right ear. We'll bend the knees. We'll float the lower legs side to side. Drawing back through center, let them go long down the mat. Toes are untucked. And we'll inhale the head and heart back up. We'll release the hands back behind us. Palms will face up. And we'll inhale, lift the heart, lift the thighs. Locust pose. Gaze down at the mat, protect the neck, and just draw the chest up. So just balancing on belly and hips here, drawing the legs together. Beautiful. Exhale. exhale, release back down to the earth. Stack the hands again and then rest down on the opposite ear, whichever ear that was for you. Inhaling, head back up, releasing hands back behind you. This time we'll bend at the knees. We'll draw the thighs together. We can even flex the feet if you like, and we'll reach for the tops of the ankles, setting up for bow pose. So gazing down at the earth, and when you're ready, you'll kick into the hands again, lifting belly, thighs, heart off the earth, gazing down at the mat. Breathing your way through, challenging yourself, kicking actively into those hands as you lift up. And exhale, release. Beautiful. This time, plant the hands underneath the shoulders, lift the belly up, bend the knees, draw them underneath the body. Come into child's pose. Option to have knees together or apart. If the shoulders need a little rest, you can even draw the arms back behind you and reach for the backs of the heels, resting more on the crown of the head. When you're ready, inhale, lift the heart, come into a kneeling position. And from here, we'll fold our mat if we need a little extra protection under the knees, or if you have a chip foam block, that works well too. We'll tuck our toes, maybe helping that pinky toe connect with the earth. Hands will draw to hips. And then we'll cactus the arms. We'll take a little back bend here, gazing up towards the earth. Breathing that nice, smooth, nourishing breath into the backs of the feet as we stretch the fascia there. We'll take a little twist to the right. We'll draw back through center again, little back bend. Inhaling back up through center, twisting to the left. Releasing back to neutral. And then exhaling, hands down onto the earth. We'll untuck the toes, we'll tap it out. Wonderful. And you can untuck your mat or place your prop aside that where you were using underneath the knees. And then this time you might want to have your blocks close by. We're going to come into a comfortable seated position. You may be scooping the flesh away, legs are crossed. And we'll begin with the right leg. So we'll have that right leg, the foot flexed, and we'll place that shin down so it's parallel to the top edge of the mat. And then we'll pick up that left leg, flexing that foot as well. Knee is bent, and we're gonna place the outside of that left foot on top of that right thigh. So coming into fire log pose. So if you're like me and you have lots of space here, trying to stack ankle over knee, then you can take your blocks or even a pillow if you have it and start to fill in the space and allow yourself to be able to rest here and release a little bit deeper into the pose. If you have a cushion, that works well too, or a pillow. You can just stack whatever you need in there to feel supported. Keep that foot flexed, and you don't want to collapse that ankle. You want to keep it strong. And then we'll just draw our eyes closed and just notice what we notice in the outer hips here. We'll stay here for 6 more deep and hurried breaths. slowly you can flutter those eyes open. Slowly you can remove any props you had. Support you. You can take your hands back behind you, fingertips pointing backwards. Place the feet down as wide as the mat. Float the legs side to side for some windshield wipers. Release all that. Coming back through center. Beautiful. So this time we will pick up that left leg. We'll place that shin parallel to the top of the mat. Then we'll pick up the right leg. Knees are bent, feet are flexed on both sides. And we'll stack that outside of that right ankle on top of that left thigh. And then again, reaching for pillows or blocks. You can see a much smaller space on this side for myself. So each side will be different for you as it is for me. So again, placing block or cushion in between the right knee and left foot, just to allow you to fill that space and release into the pose and feel supported here. Closing eyes, breathing deeply into the hips. Last 6 breaths here on this side. Fluttering eyes open. Removing any props from in between the legs, placing them aside, and then hands back behind you again, fingertips point backwards, placing feet down as wide as the mat as you rock the knees side to side for windshield wipers. And then sending the sit bones back again. We'll take the legs long out in front of us. We'll scoop the flesh out of the way. Hands can come down onto the earth beside the sit bones. Nice, long, tall spine. Draw the crown up. Flex the feet for Dandasana. Nice, tall seat. And then drawing the hands to the back sides of the knees. We'll take the legs out as wide as is comfortable. Again, maybe you scoop the flesh away from underneath the sit bones. And then we'll bend that right knee. We'll draw that right foot into the groins. We'll float hands up into the sky. We'll gaze up. And then on the exhale, we'll gently twist to the right. So left hand can rest somewhere on that right thigh. Right hand back behind you. Maybe the gaze goes back towards that right shoulder. Flex that left foot, keep it active. Slowly exhaling as you maybe release, coming back through center, floating hands back up again. Reaching little micro bend in the elbows, palms face inwards. And then we'll begin to twist towards that left leg and we'll slowly forward fold over the left leg. So hands can come down to the earth, they can rest on the shin, or if it's available to you, you can reach for that left foot. Gaze down towards that left knee. Releasing the hands, floating back up to a nice tall seat. We'll release that right leg, out to the right. Again, readjusting our sit bones if we need. And then bending left knee, drawing left foot into the groins, floating hands up. And gently exhaling as we twist to the left, and right hand will rest on left thigh, right hand back behind you on the earth, supporting the body as you twist. Maybe taking the gaze back behind you towards the left shoulder. Flexing right foot. Keep that leg active. Releasing the twist, coming back through center, float the hands up. Slowly twist to the right this time as you forward fold over that right leg. Again, the hands go wherever they go, earth, shin, or foot. Bow gently. Breathe deeply. Releasing, inhaling back up to a nice tall seat, drawing back through center. Releasing left leg out to the side. Hands can come to the back sides of the knees. And then we'll take the knees out wide. We'll join the soles of the feet together, and we'll hug those feet into the groins as closely as it feels comfortable for you. So if you need a little bit more space, you can keep the feet a little bit further away from the body. If you want to deepen, you hug them in closer. And again, this is a great place if you need a little added support underneath the thighs. You can reach for those blocks or those pillows and simply place them underneath the thighs here. Hands can go to the ankles. And we'll just lift the heart. We'll close the eyes again. Maybe taking notice of how the body feels after we did some movement. Does it feel balanced? Does it feel ease? Does it feel a little bit more mobile for you? Maybe the aches and pains are just a little bit more softened. Relax your shoulders here, relax your face. Drawing eyes open again when you're ready, placing your props aside. And then taking hands to the outsides of the knees and just closing them together like a book. Beautiful. Being sure that we're in the middle of our mats here. We'll take the hands to the undersides of the knees again. We'll float the legs up into the sky, coming into boat pose, lifting the heart. Beautiful. And then releasing hands, if you so choose, we'll just slowly start to float down, one vertebra at a time, all the way onto our backs. Beautiful. Hugging the knees into chest when you get there and just rocking them side to side. Massaging that lower spine. And then we'll cross that right leg over the left, and we'll take the hands to the tops of the knees or the shins. We'll flex our feet to protect the knee, and then we'll hug those knees into chest, getting into the other hip again. So you should feel it in the right hip here. Allow the shoulder blades to relax and melt into the mat. Shoulders should be back and away from the ears. And crossing the legs, floating them back up into the sky as we reach and lengthen. Flex the feet, palms face inwards, thumbs point back behind you. And then beginning to bend the knees as we cross left leg over right. Reaching hands for those shins again, flexing the feet, hugging knees into chest. Holding here, sending some nourishing breaths into that left outer hip. And then slowly uncrossing the legs, releasing all that, floating. Arms and legs back up into the sky for waterfall. And then with control, we'll float everything back down to the earth and we'll begin to prepare for our final rest. So if you have blankets, bolsters, anything you need to find a place of comfort and relaxation, please set yourself up in a way that allows you to completely release and let go. So we're on our backs here, arms and legs are spread out wide, palms face up. And we'll draw the eyes closed and we'll start to soften through the face and the forehead, in between the brows. Loosening the jaw, taking the tongue down from the roof of the mouth. Slowing the breathing. And allowing yourself to let anything else go that's holding you back, that's feeling frustrating or negative in your life. Just let that seep away. Let that melt away and allow that new space inside to welcome something positive into your life. To allow that change to come in and guide you into the path you know you're supposed to be on. Please continue to rest here in Shavasana if your schedule allows it. Thank you for joining me here today. I hope you enjoyed our flow class, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.